Let's see if I remember. Whoa. See if I remember how this works. If I remember how to do this here. Let's see if anybody shows up. It's been a minute. I see one person in here looking. So, yeah. I may say this a couple of times. What's up? Man, where have you been? Andrew Collins says. So, let's get into it. First thing I want to say is if you are a member of this channel, meaning that you pay the $9 a month or whatever, I want you to stop that like right now, because I don't put out enough content lately to justify that. What I do want to say, to answer the question, where have I been? Some cats already know, so I'll just I'll say it all again. You know what I mean? Since I've been back in New Orleans, I've lost 3 friends. I was just a pallbearer for another really good friend on Saturday. My mom passed away in October. Had a breakup. I admit it. It's just been a lot going on. I changed jobs, got out of teaching directly and working with kids directly, moved into ed tech. It's been a lot going on. Haven't played much at all. I do a gig here and there, but quite honestly, and my guys, Fleece, Bird, and Excellent, my brother Wayne, they know. Can you guys still hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? I need a thumbs up because or something. But I'm gonna keep talking. So outside of a few gigs here and there, I just don't really I haven't really had the desire to play. Haven't had the desire to play. No practicing. No nothing. But a couple of things happened this weekend. Saw one of my homies from Oakland trying to switch up the monsters for something a little bit healthier. Here's to you. My old drummer, the guy who played on my record, he came by today, visiting from California. So I'm like, I gotta get my fingers back in order, and I thought I would share, maybe a little bit of how I might approach that. Like I said, I'm super duper rusty, man. Like rusty. But as you see, I got the metronome on the screen. This is my favorite metronome app. It's called Tempo by Frozen Ape. And I'm going to set this to like 70. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear this. Or somebody 1,
2, 3, 4.
Somebody tell me if you can hear the metronome. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to simply get my, work on getting my fingers moving. That's it. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry, guys. You can tell how long it's been since I've done this. Whoa. I lost the picture in the picture. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see. Bam. There it is. All right. Haven't done this in a little while. So all I'm going to do is the 1 finger per fret thing. I am going to start lower on the neck. And if you... Oh, maybe I should move this like this. That should be better. Notice when I do the 1 finger per fret, in the lower registers, my hand is moving. All I'm doing right now, I'm just concentrating on getting a clean, consistent tone, right? And but what I'm going to do is, what I like to do with this metronome app is set a timer, right? Anytime, if you guys ever heard of that book called The Practicing Mind. Fleece, I don't know. I'm not that far ahead yet, brother. Doing things in like short spurts is better than trying to just sit down and do a whole bunch of stuff for an hour. So I got this one thing that I'm going to do, right?
1, 2, 3, 4.
So we know at this tempo, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. I want to work up to that, right? But I'm not going to start off with 16th notes. I'm going to start off with 8th notes, right? I don't want the automation. I don't want the tempo to speed up or anything like that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
2 and 3 and 4 and... Woo. As long as as deep as the neck is wide, and I'm just gonna move up in half steps, just going forward the whole time. I didn't set the timer. My bad. Now, I know this might be boring the crap out of some people, but it might also give you some ideas if you're rusty like I am. Let me know if the bass volume is good as well. Now my strap is in the way. I'm gonna go back down. You can tell these strings are super dead too. Also, I'm paying attention to my right hand as well. So my right hand hasn't escaped me just yet. And if you guys have any questions, leave them in that chat box. Okay, so I forgot to set the timer. But now that I've done that, let's say I want to increase the tempo. Let's say every 4 bars. I don't want to mute. I haven't used this in a while. Where's it at? Well, I could do the muted thing, but I don't want to do that. I want to automate tempo. Oh, here we go. Haha, tripping. Increase by 4 BPMs every 4 bars. Okay, so I'll do that. Well, I'll save that. I'll save that part. There's another variation of this particular exercise. I learned this from a guy named Mike something or other in Oakland, where I play position 1, position 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then jump up to the 13th position. See what I'm saying? So
1, 2,
I'll do this in 16.
4.
No, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. So here's where I might increase the tempo, because I do need a challenge. So we'll increase by 4 BPM every 4 bars.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So that gives me a point. What your speed is, what your starting speed is, how fast you comfortably do 16th notes. Like I said, I haven't really played in such a long time.
1, 2,
Let's see.
3,
I'll just do
4.
one position. So that's not enough time for me to really get a... Now I'm just doing it randomly. Woo! You guys see the BPMs jumping up? So I see I'm struggling, right? I'm kind of trying to test and see where my comfort zone is. So let me turn the automation off. And you guys see what I'm saying about the timer. So right now I've only got this small window of time to say, okay, Ted, pick up the bass again, play again, feel comfortable around the instrument again, right? Not playing songs necessarily, but just getting my fingers moving again. And of course, there are going to be 24 different variations of how you can play any 4-note grouping, but I'm not even going to worry about that. Trying to do all the things. I'll just go, hey, today, maybe I don't have the creative spirit, right, to create a part or a groove or anything like that. Maybe my goal is to just get back, warmed up or whatever. So that's what I might do. Even if it's, watching something, that might be just today, right? One yen, 2 yen, 3 yen, 4 yen. And I still feel like I'm floundering a bit. Like my coordination could be better. But what was I going to say? If I were to choose another variation of this, then I would need to be able to do that same variation. Well, the goal would be to be able to play this whatever that variation was at the same speed that I play this one. Not that it's a matter of speed, but consistency, I guess. So yeah, that's that. Let me go to the folks that are here. What have you guys been doing since I've been away? What have you been doing? Who you been seeing? What you been doing? What have you been playing? I've got some opinions on I forgot my phone was being was being shown. I can't show you everything on my phone. What do you guys been up to? Talk to me. What have you been listening to? I've been playing a lot of chess. Anybody play chess? I've been playing a ton of chess on chess.com. For those who don't know, I'm the reason they still searching for Bobby Fischer. I'm not really, but I do enjoy a game of chess. Oh, you guys quiet now. Y'all quiet. Y'all ain't saying nothing, huh? I see how it is. You know what I might do also? My reading chops are kind of foul right now. I may do some side-by-side stuff and just kind of let me see if I can get on this road back. You know what I mean? Back to playing. I know YouTube is, it's kind of hard to do it's kind of hard, you can't like really play alongs and all that kind of stuff because of copyrights. And they've been sending me a couple of little things, so got to be careful with that because they will take your thing down. Trying to stomach some disco tunes with a new band. Dude, disco tunes got some of the dopest bass lines in them. Let's talk about covers for a minute. I know there's I know there's some controversy about playing covers, but listen, one of the best things you could do is learn how to play covers, right? I've said it time and time and time again. I'm going to keep saying it. One of the best things that you can do is learn covers. Every word you speak is a cover tune. I'm not saying to stay there. I'm certainly not saying to stay there and let that be your whole vocabulary. You know what I mean? But, you know, every word we speak is a cover. It's a cover of what our parents said. It's a cover of what our friends said. So don't let nobody tell you nothing about playing covers. Started learning bass last December. In my time. Oh, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, I just haven't had and I never ever saw myself in a position where I would just not really have the desire to play. Like I do sometimes, but then there's sometimes most of the time, just like, but I definitely have to, make it back. Excellent. I'm going to see that Prince Experience in October. And for you guys who don't know, the Prince Experience, the immersive experience, is in Chicago, and it's super super dope out here. Excellent. Do you have your? I ain't gonna do it because I don't remember how to. I don't remember how to do the call in. Nah, man, no covers and no social media. Ted, you know what I find hard? I've been improvising so much is learning a song. I need to change that. Man, I was telling my friend not too long ago about learning how to play. What's up, Arthur Meadows? Hey, I seen some dopes, Arthur Meadows. I seen some dope. You got a trio thing going on or something. I saw something on Instagram that looked like it was kind of hot. How did you memorize the notes on the fretboard? I don't know that I have. I mean, I know where the notes are, but I don't, like, I'm not going to just be calling them out, like, but, like, I can't, like, F, that to me is not really useful information. It's not useful for me, in my opinion, to be able to do. I memorize notes on the fretboard the same way I memorize people's names. When I see them, I say their name. Once I learned that this note was an F, and that note was an F, that note is 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 an F, right? I also see patterns. I'm one of those people that sees and addresses the neck, and it's a very pattern-based instrument, in my opinion. And so I do see, how things repeat across the neck. These four notes are the same as those, an octave lower. Well, these are lower octaves of those. Right? Yeah. That's so Music C81, IC81, that is actually a good point. I about memorizing how they sound, what they sound like more than they look like. I like that. It's like when you have a pattern. Whoa. All of a sudden I couldn't play a major scale. Bruh. That's a pattern of sound. It's a fingering pattern. But it's also a pattern of sound. That's why when I did that, I was like, what are you doing? I can immediately recognize that sound is not that major scale. Is the same as that sound. Is the same as that sound, right? Let's see. Yeah. You know, one of the things that really opened the neck up for me. Well, Mike Wilcox was the guy's name. His name was Michael Wilcox. Is the guy's name. I hope he's still alive, but Mike Wilcox. He was the first person to show me like this 5-position major scale, or a way of looking at the major scale in 5 positions, which is really more akin to like looking at the pentatonic scale in 5 positions, right? I took about 8 lessons with Anthony Wellington. And Anthony, you know, how many notes are there in a major scale? There's 7, so there'd be 7 positions, right? But when I was with Mike Wilcox, there's a book called Serious Electric Bass. The writer of that book also talks about the major scale in 5 positions. So I'm going to pretend this is a 4-string. So there's the first position of G major, and then the second position would be oops, I messed up. Let me talk about that for a second. We talk about patterns. We're talking about patterns. So there's a first position, right? The first position of that G major scale. And then Dorian. I screwed something up there a second ago. Look at there. When I said, oh, damn, there's just another way to address that G major scale. Then I started seeing that, well, there's G major again. When I started playing 5-string, it just didn't really trip me up that much. It didn't trip me up that much at all, just because I saw that pattern. Anyway, Dorian, Phrygian, there's that G major scale, yeah. Then of course Lydian right here. Mixolydian. And then there's that scale. But what I find, scales, in my opinion, and in my experience, will definitely help you get around the neck, understand the neck, see different modes and stuff like that. But like, that's like grammar rules almost. You know what I mean? If you think about them as just like law, a lot of songs don't necessarily lend themselves to you playing those particular finger patterns or whatever. But when you come across a song that may be a little bit more intricate and has like some lines in it, you know, and I'm not talking to you elite cats out there, because, you know, I know there are cats out there that's, and that's good. I'm not that guy. But when you hear the lines and you're like, oh, that's just X, Y, and Z, you know. I know it's up there, but I'm not playing it there. You could tell how long I have. So you can hear automatically that that's a pentatonic scale. But then if you start to, here's where the value comes of learning a cover and studying what's happening. And when I say study, that makes it sound a lot bigger than what it is. What I mean is just really examining what is in that line. What's the note that you hear? What's the tonal center that you hear there? You hear that B flat. You hear that B flat. And then that should, in my opinion, only in my opinion, that should then start getting you curious about, if that's B flat pentatonic, right? If that's B flat major pentatonic, then what else is there? And then you start finding those. We're talking about those 5 positions. Right? You start picking that out, and then you like, you start hearing other songs and seeing other songs, other bits of vocabulary that you hear all over the place. My fingers are weak. Sounds good, John Cook. Even a line like that, like, so here I am trying to get my fingers back, right? Remember I was talking about B flat major pentatonic? There's that might be my thing. Just playing with that pentatonic piece. It doesn't have to be that. I'm just saying that. I'm just like using that as an example, right? But just that little bit of vocabulary. You know, right now you guys could probably think of, 5 other songs that have that same bit of vocabulary in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. What else? What else are you guys working on? What else you guys like? I've been away for a while. What else is going on? I think I think like social media and like the bass space, just like the fitness space, right? The online fitness space. I was watching this guy's video the other day. He was talking about just how far gone it's gone. You know what I mean? I think Scott's Bass Lessons is probably by far the best thing going in the, maybe not best for everyone, but definitely the most evolved bass platform that ever was. When I started YouTube, it was like me, Marlo DK, and like, I don't know, two other people or something like that. So, but like, I don't know, how much can you talk about how I don't know. Just for me, like, shit, man, like, a scale is a scale is a scale, like, but you don't play bass for scales. That's the issue I take with anybody who gives anybody a hard time about playing covers. I think that's BS. I think that's a complete and utter BS. Anybody, how did you learn how to play the bass? I learned how to play the bass by learning how to tune the instrument and then finding songs that I liked, that I wanted to know, right? And bits and pieces of those songs became my vocabulary. And then I came up with my own vocabulary based on that, in the same way that when I talk, I was talking to my cousin. My goddaughter just went to school in Scotland. She's got a semester in Scotland, so I went over to my aunt's house, or my auntie house, to say goodbye to her. And my cousins was like, "You sound just like your mother." There were things I was saying. I was like, I do sound exactly like my mom. You know what I mean? Or there's times when I say something and I sound exactly like my dad. You know what I mean? The same way that I do, you do. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing new under the sun. Could you imagine? I want you to just put yourself in the headspace. If somebody came up to Miles Davis and said, "Hey, Miles, you're not supposed to play the trumpet like that." Where would we be if Miles would have said, "You right. We don't do that. We don't play the trumpet like that." Where would we be musically? Right? Oh my God, Fleece. Dude. Bernie Worrell, I can never pronounce his last name. When I came off that stage and Bernie was standing there with open arms like he was my uncle, big shit-eating grin on his face. I mean, for like a long time, you couldn't tell me I wasn't funky, because I knew I was like Bernie Worrell. The Wizard of Wu said I was funky, son. So, what was I saying before that? Oh, what if Larry Graham, somebody said to Larry Graham, "Hey man, you're not supposed to hit the bass with your thumb like that. You're not supposed to do that." And what if Larry Graham would have said, "You right. I ain't gonna do it." And he just stopped doing it. What about James Jamerson? "James, you don't play the bass like that." Right? Where would we be? We wouldn't have Marcus. We wouldn't have Victor. We wouldn't have a whole lot of people. You know what I mean? There's an article by, see, I'm tangenting right now, but y'all gonna get me in trouble. Fleece and Wayne, y'all gonna get me in trouble. There's an article with George Clinton. I bet y'all didn't know that George Clinton lives in New Orleans. I bet y'all didn't know that. There's an article with George Clinton that says that's called "How to Stay Cool as Fuck Forever," according to George Clinton. This is the name of the article. This is one of the best articles that. Is it raining? It's raining. Holy smokes. The number one thing on the list is embrace the youth. You pay attention to the ones that are getting ready to kick you out. Let me read that again for the people in the back. You pay attention to the ones that are just getting ready to kick you out. If you can pay attention to them, you'll learn what's getting ready to happen so you can stay there. You can't hate on them, because the minute you hate on them, you actually make them more popular. Anything parents hate or old musicians hate, that's the next shit. You can't be corny. You're corny if you... This is not my words. It's not my words. This is George Clinton. Come on now. It's George Clinton. You can't be corny. You're corny if you start hating on them. I just keep that in mind, so I feel young just by using the word corny. I just don't want to be corny in the eyes of other kids, not my peers because they're old like me. I'm looking for my grandkids to tell me what's on YouTube. That's how I found out about Chief Keef. This is George Clinton. Next thing, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Chill with rappers. Create your own wave and keep it funky. Keep your squad tight. Be about your money. George knows something about that. Don't sleep on your peers. Bite shit from them too. Everybody biting shit from everybody else. Everybody. I mean, we got to keep all this stuff in perspective, man. You feel me? It's got to be... I've said this to people before. I've said this to people, look, I'm not curing cancer. Nothing that I've done with this instrument is curing cancer. It ain't stopping COVID. It ain't stopping the war in Ukraine. It ain't, it's not changing anything economically in the world. Experiences that I've had with this instrument, I've been blessed to have those experiences, but also it's some selfish shit. It's selfish. Why? Because I would have done this for free. This is what I just sat in my room to do when I was a kid, right? So any amount of success that I had with it, really got lucky or whatever. So I got to keep that in perspective. Have I made people happy playing bass? Yes. Have I made myself happy playing bass? Yes. But am I changing the world? I mean, look, that's the subjective relative. I'm personally not changing the world. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, I want to congratulate Stephen Bird. Everybody right now. Everybody congratulate Steve. I'm not getting off this live until everybody on here congratulates Stephen Bird. All 21 people, you congratulate Pop for becoming a grandfather for the first time. Congratulations, Mr. Bird. Mr. Bird. Y'all I don't see nobody saying congratulations, Bird. Bird just became a grandfather, y'all. It's a blessing. Pop. That's his new name. Pop. Yeah, man. I find the value in the covers. Yeah, I want to get my reading back together too. One of the best books I could recommend for sight reading is a book called I'll show it to you. This book, Reading Contemporary Electric Bass, is super dope. And it's dope. I'm going to tell you why it's dope. Because it is it progresses in a way that you start seeing lines. I've played a lot of musical theater, a lot, about 5 or 6 years worth of musical theater, and this has got the types of lines that the regular guys, you and me, would see on gigs. Hey man, come read this. You know, can you come play, you know, Cats? It's got real shit in it. You know, it's got real lines. You know, some people go to like Bach and stuff like that for their reading, which is cool. Like, read everything. I mean, read anything, but like also be realistic. This says performance studies in funk, rock, disco, jazz, and other musical styles. Rich Appleman, Berkeley Press. Berkeley Press. It starts off real. You can't see that. You know what I'm saying. What Troy Jones say? What did Troy Jones say? We play not because we want to. We play because we have to. Stephen Bird, a.k.a. Pop Pop. Pop Pop. You living up to that gray hair you got. Scott Keller. You guys, so if you've ever listened to my album, Scott Keller, who just made a comment. Scott Keller is the young man who played drums on my record, on all the songs but one. Couldn't have done that record. The record would not sound the way it does without Scott. Scott was in town and just came to see me today. Boy, I love you. You're part of the reason why I'm on here today. Just so you know. So yeah, man, I may share like I gotta watch what I say, but maybe I'll start sharing me trying to get back in a thing. That's where I was going with this. Was in this whole YouTube journey and all that, like, and I'm not calling out, I'm not saying anything about any other creator. None. Who's still in the 6? I don't live in the 6 anymore. I grew up in the 6, if that's what you're talking about. Oh, Tommy Hayes, what's up, man? Nah, I grew up in the 6. I be in the 6, but I don't live in the 6. Talking about the 6th Ward of New Orleans, Treme area. Anyway. You look at it from all, like, any social media, like, influencer, whatever. Whether it be fashion, fitness, music, whatever. It's like we put out, there's this kind of effort to put out, like, the polished thing, you know? And I don't know if that's what it's all about, really. You know, especially not for cats that have been watching me for a long time. I don't know if that's what it's about. It's about, like, real shit, you know? So, anyway, back to what I was saying about just getting my fingers back on this. Man, I love you too, Scott. Love you like kids love candy, brother. Woo! Just trying to get my hands working again. I got a little tennis elbow thing happening too. And if I'm playing this, I'm not concerned. All I'm concerned about, my criteria, my rubric, if you will. Am I alternating my fingers? Am I, you know, every note that I play? Thanks, Scott. Have a safe trip back to the town. I want to, you know, my rubric for you teachers out there is Am I alternating my fingers? Right? Is my tone even or somewhat even? Right? Not the speed. At least not at this point. I may add to the rubric and say, can I play this at 90 BPM? Right? Not for necessarily a musical exercise, but for a physical exercise, a tempo exercise. Has my tempo changed? Do I have this so automated that I could talk and play it at the same time? Right? Somebody tell me. Woo! Yeah. Am I still giving lessons? Not really. Not really. I mean, I think I really miss teaching private lessons. Soulstar89, I'd consider giving lessons again. What is the book with the 5 positions exercise? It's called Serious Electric Bass. But let me tell you about this book. It's a good book, but hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it for you. Huh. I can't put my hands on it right now. It's called Serious Electric Bass. It's a good book. But it's got like Flea said his 2 different fingers have 2 different tones. That's funny. That's it. Joel DiBartolo. That's right. Joel DiBartolo. It's a good book. But like I think like when you get these books, man, you gotta keep that shit in perspective, right? You gotta, like what you trying to get out of the book. Cause some, I spent a lot of money on just like heady information that really didn't necessarily make me play better. You know what I mean? And there's a difference between knowing a lot of stuff and playing, right? Like music theory, like I'm sure you guys know people too that know a lot of music theory. They can talk about a lot of stuff, but they can't necessarily play. And that's not to insult them, but like music theory allows you to be able to talk about music more succinctly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Books are tough. How many of y'all raise your hand if you got like 5 books that you have not completed. 5 method books that you ain't done nothing with. Those books are collecting dust. Huh? How many? Raise your hand. Tell the truth. I'm looking at you, Wayne. I'm looking at you. Dude, that's a big compliment, but I appreciate. I don't completely buy it. He's saying, I've learned more from you than from all the books or videos I bought. You know what? The check's in the mail. I don't believe that shit, but thank you. uh, the Joel DiBartolo book, it's good, but I never really made it through that book. Truth be told. And, like Fleece said, like they're references, right? But, I mean, how many references do you need? I'm going to say it. I think learning songs is one of the best resources that you're going to have. Period. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down. Because another thing about playing covers, first of all, if you play in any church in America, you are playing, say it with me, guys, covers. You are playing covers. And then you are expected to know, like, depending on the church you're playing at, and I don't care if they're playing CCM, gospel, whatever. That MD, that musical director, is particularly if they're of a certain age, is going to expect you to know so many different. You know how like singers be expecting musicians to know like every song on the planet? Yeah. When you working, you better know some covers. You better know some covers. You better be able to balance, right? I mean, balance, there it is. There it is. Balance, right? There's creativity and then there's, blue collar work, and I am a guy that cozy Christian covers. I'm a guy that, especially here in New Orleans where, 5 hours of covers and nobody playing no original music there. And do I get creative and take creative license with the bass lines? Absolutely. Pre-pandemic, I walked into BB King's and I was just leaving one gig and I went to BB King's Blues Club here in New Orleans. And it was for my school's Christmas party. And I sat in with the band, which led to a regular gig. What was that gig? Covers. There are no set lists. There are... Oh, hey, Fleece just mentioned walking jazz lines for bass. That got me through my first year of college. Yep. Walking jazz lines for bass by Jay Hungerford. It is a very pattern-based approach. It's sort of like Todd Johnson's module system, which Todd Johnson has put out some really dope stuff by way of walking bass lines. Now, let me ask you this. Why do you want to learn walking bass lines? I was forced to learn walking bass lines because I wanted to get a degree. Some of y'all know this story. I went to a community college. I did not know how to read. I wanted to get a bass teacher, blah, blah, blah. But you got to play in ensembles. It was a lot of, jazz, right? I didn't want to play jazz. I did not want to play jazz at all. But walking bass lines is another thing that just like, oh, snap, opened up the bass, opened up the neck. I know Scott Devine has a thing, the Jazz Accelerator course, that looks like it's pretty dope. Yeah, and walking bass lines come in all you know, coming all, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. Um, walking baselines coming. There's a group that I sometimes sub with called the Rumble. They got like, I'm just, this is probably a bad example, but they got a groove in the bass, second line girl. Um, where's that line from? Right? The Michael Jackson joint. Right. But anyway, but when the song starts to get cooking, I'm yeah, walking baseline show up and everything. Well, Victor Wooten, The Lesson. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like that book. I didn't love some of the voice acting in the Audible version, but that's cool. Stephen Bird, what you talking about? All 31 flavors. What are you talking about? We talking about ice cream? We talking about ice cream? Don't know covers and try to go get a gig. Don't know covers and try to go get a gig. Watch what happens. You ain't gonna get no gig. Because there's some stuff that is just it's just, you gotta know it. Hold on a second, y'all. So, like, I was playing with this group. I'm not gonna call no names, but the word soul was in their name, right? And the singer, God bless the singer, almost sound like Rocket Love. I said, I can't help it, man. And I said, how could you can't really call yourself this and claim to be a soul band when you just can't pull Let's Stay Together out the air. Scott, if you're still on the live stream, Scott, how many covers do you know? Huh? Way out of touch. Way out of touch. And some of y'all know who I'm talking about too. Don't buy into that bullshit. Dude, when you first started playing, what were some of the first songs that helped you improve? Man, I played stuff that I liked. When I started out, everybody know, man, Prince is my guy. But when I was, 13, 1999, I didn't know nothing else. And I thought that was cool. And when I could do that, you couldn't tell me nothing. I just listened to stuff. I played Fun fact, I own every record that I had when I was a kid. I still have. I got print. Man, hold on. See, y'all playing with me. Hold on. Let me show y'all something. Yes, still in sweats. It's like pandemic all over again. Let me show y'all something, man. I'm gonna just pull out some of these joints real quick. Oh, where's it at? I played the stuff that I liked. You know what I mean? I played the stuff that I liked. Well, this is a bit later. Man. Just a touch of love. All this right here. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, make love, not war. Look at this. If I was your girlfriend, still got the plastic on it, yo. Another Love, a Hole in Your Head. I was 16 when that came out. Kiss, 12-inch. Love of Money. Yeah, man. It was just a song. That was hella weird, wasn't it? That shit was weird what I just did. I don't even care. I don't care. There's something about that smell of old vinyl. Oh, man. I just had a moment and you guys saw it. A little awkward. A little creepy, maybe. There's so many songs. To answer your question, it's so many songs. You better not, Scott, if I see this on Instagram, I'm coming to your house. It's been a long time since I said that one. I'm coming to your house. Come on, y'all. Hold on. Boom. Ooh. Yeah, man, it's called Walking Jazz Lines for Bass by Jay Hungerford is the guy's name. Come on, y'all. Look, come on, y'all. Uh-oh. Y'all know nothing about this. This one got jacked up. Some live stuff from Germany. These got jacked up in some moves. The Royal Jewels. A collection of His Majesty's finest studio sessions. Purple Rain on virgin vinyl. Japanese import. Never, ever, ever played. Hold on, Doc. Y'all ain't ready for this? Huh? The Super Saver. Come on now. Shake Your Pants. Yes. Yeah, Shake Your Pants. Cameosis. Even this. I was vibing on some stuff on here. I was just playing whatever. Come on, man. When the Elite. This is a dope record. This is a dope record. Still in the plastic. Almost still in the plastic. The second Madhouse record. I used to draw. Ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Yeah, man. It's good to see y'all. Oh, if you don't know, I bought a turntable specifically to play these records. Come on, man, from way back in the Dizzy. I did say Dizzy. Scott, if you grab any of this stuff and put it on social media, I'm coming to your house. I'm coming to your house. Pop Life. Dude, okay, so I had this thing coming up where I would put stuff in my... I used to be an artist. I used to draw. This was like everybody that knew me when I was younger thought that I was going to be an artist. But here are my own handwritten lyrics from like 1990. Doors of Desire. I feel like I should turn the lights down low. Not going there with y'all. What up, Doe? Stewart? We're just kind of hanging around the... You hear that influence in the 24 Days bass line by Willie Martin. Willie Martin, Willie Martin, Willie Martin, y'all. Willie Martin is a bad mother. Willie Martin is a dope bass player, y'all. Pop Life. Come on, what y'all know about that? I can't pull them all out. When Doves Cry, A Sign of the Time. Prince World Tour 1987. Sweden. Well, I got some stuff. You know, when Prince passed, like, everybody would be like sending me stuff. And I'd be like, man, how do I say this without being a jerk? But dude, that song, Willie Martin, that song 24 Days by Waterseed is super dope. Ooh, are you my baby? And some of those bass parts, man. Some of them bass parts. I mean, some of that stuff is just like, that was the shit that got me. Just like, really, I don't know, simple groovy stuff. You know, I like when guys are doing all the fancy stuff. Do I have Eroica, the Eroica album? I don't have Eroica on wax. I have Eroica on cassette. Yep. If it was in like the Purple Sphere from like 1983 through, you know, the late 80s, I have it in some form or fashion. One tune that Wendy and Lee said that I hadn't tripped on in a long time was this joint called "To Trip Is to Fall." You guys remember that? It was the B-side of Honeymoon Express. Real dope song. I want to say that came out in 1988. So yeah, super dope. Willie, tell me, what have you been doing, man? Where you at these days? Where are you playing? What is going on with you? Willie Martin is a bad boy. And I'm gonna tell you something. There's a couple of bass players. I'm not necessarily saying that Willie is one of them, but there's like bass players that I met. Well, yeah, I guess he is. Maybe bass players that I met when they were much younger that had cited things that I'd done on YouTube. And then I see them now and I'm like, shit. Clark Sims. I remember seeing Clark Sims out in Clarkwood B. And it wasn't just me. He was watching everybody. Man, look. Clark Sims is funkier than I could have ever hoped to have been, especially at his age. Clark is the future. Ooh, Wasted Kisses. Why did I waste my Oh, yes. Fleece. Come on, dog. Yes. I got some real Prince aficionados in the building. Yep. Scott know Clark Sims. Man, Clark Sims is... I do have Charade. Yup. Charade had all like the beat, had all like the outtakes from the Parade album. Yup. Man, I wish I could play some stuff without getting a copyright strike, man. Woo. And there's something about like these records. There's something about these records that is like the sound quality is horrible. And then I've heard like cleaned up versions of some of this stuff. And it's something about the dirt, the grit, you know. Nice. Who you playing with on Bourbon Street, Willie? Willie Martin, a bad boy. You still got all that hair? Willie Martin is a bad boy. Now I'm gonna tell you who was a dope bass player. This cat right here. This cat right here is a dope bass player. He's a dope bass player. I just gotta call it how I see it. This album right here, bruh. Some good. I might have to put this on. Not right now, but might have to put this on before the night is through. Okay, y'all ready for this? This belonged to my mama. My mama used to play this when her and my daddy got divorced. You ready for this? Hey, it's some of the coldest funk on this record right here, bruh. You see this? I mean, anytime you got a brother with a hat on like that, there's some funk contained therein. Dude, Matt Schultz, the guitar player. That's a bad boy. That's a bad. I'm gonna have to come check y'all out, man. I played. I was in Miami. Am I thinking about the same dude? I think I'm thinking about the same dude. Who was we with? Brassaholics. Right before everything shut down. That was one of my last gigs in Miami with before everything shut down. Yup. You need what? You need what, ASAP? Excellent. What you talking about, fam? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What did I say just now? What do we have? What on CD? What are you talking about? Oh, you talking about this Neither One of Us album? You know I don't. But it's on Spotify now. It's on Spotify. What just happened? No, that's not Charade. That was this is called The Purple Decade. The Purple Decade. Anyway, what started out as one thing has ended as another. Friends, my light just died, so I appreciate you kicking it with me, bringing a little sunshine to my life. Scott Keller, you guys thank Scott Keller, and everybody say congratulations to Pop Pop. Pop Pop. Stephen Bird is a granddad. But all right, friends. I'll catch you next time. Eat your Wheaties and play your covers. Play your covers. Play the goddamn covers. I'm coming to your house. Peace. 2 fingers.